Hello and welcome to Uli's Dev Corner. My name is Uli and this video is about
AutohotKey with Outlook to send some emails. I prepared here a README file with all the information we will use here with links and so on. As well, I prepared an app icon and then a cancel and a send button. Let's get right into create a file for the basics. basic.ahk. The only thing what we need here is the object model to communicate with Outlook. And here the link, we can get more information. This one is for VBA, but this doesn't matter. We can use it as well. So let's try that one. In order to use this object here, we have to add it to a variable. I choose the name app, and then we have to use this object. First, we need to send the email to someone. I have a very creative name here. That will be some email at address.com. Then we need the subject. Here, just some subject. As well, then an email body. Some body email text. That would be then plain. We can use as well HTML and so on. And then of course we have to display in Outlook. We can also use send, but then the email will be sent out immediately. Okay, with F5 we can try it. And here we have Outlook with open all the information we just put in there. So let's close that. Of course, we don't want to save it. We can as well specify to save the email immediately. That's it. Actually, you can find all the information in the links README where you can send, do some other stuff. But of course, this one we have to hardcode, run it, and we can't change here anything. What would be nice to have a form. Let's create a new file, and I will call that email form. What we need here is some basic stuff, as I want to send this one here only with, or I created this with AutohotKey version 2. I add the requires, then a single instance. Single instance means I can run it only once. Then I create here my function where I put all the information for the email, and I call it immediately that I can testing it while I coding. As I have here an app icon, I want to use it. And the way we do that with AutohotKey is we add this to the tray set icon, then here my icon file, and then I don't want to have a tray icon. I remove the tray icon. I have only an icon for my taskbar. Then I want to set this icon send btn and icon cancel, and I specified already a field width for all my forms, and I use the space here, what I will explain later, and then I have my email group array to send easily emails. So now let's add the GUI. Here as well I get links where you can get more information for everything you need here. You don't have to check for the README file then. That's why I put it here. So what I do, I use the class GUI, add it to a variable, and then I do stuff with this variable. Here I show it, but we have nothing to show here anyway. Here you will see now when I run that with F5, you have a taskbar icon and then nothing to show here. I like to have a dark theme. I add here the background color and dark, and as well set the font already large here first for the title and then the color. Let's add the headline, and now when we run it again, then we can see something. Here we have our email send form that comes from here. And we use here a simple text and as well the links for the information. But as we can see, this one is not dark, so we can change that with the Windows 32 APIs. Here we can then a DLL call for the black theme, and if we run that again, this one is now dark. So what I like to have is to explain you guys stuff better. When I do like that, then the app is gone. Of course, I can run it again because it's just in the background, and as we use a single instance, it runs only once. If we not have that one, it will be open several times. And as you can see here, we have the title in the system menu, the same name as file name. I want to change that too, and we can do that here in the, where is it? In the GUI. What we do here, we add always on top, and you find this information here in the options. Let's go quick in there. Here we have always on top, border, caption, and so on. Later we will use this sys menu that we don't show it. Back to VS Code. And here would be actually the title, but when I have nothing in there, then we don't have a title. We still have the icon, but later we will remove that. If I do that now, then I have nothing to close the GUI. Next thing would be then add all the other form elements. Let's add them now. We have quite a bunch here, so let's run that. And then let me explain. What we have here is then the subject. Here we have to go back and forward with the font size, and as well the text is the subject, like this one. And then we set the fonts again. And here we set then the edit. Here you get the information about the edit field. Basically, we can use two different approaches here. We can add and then edit here in quotes, or we just use the MyGUI add edit. So that's up to you how you want to do that. I prefer the first way. Then we have here a month calendar. It's actually the same way. Basically, they are running all the same stuff. Oh, what I forgot here is we have the we and then form value subject. That's the variable we will use later. And of course, we have here the field width so that everything is the same width. And here I use two calendars. So when we end of the month, we don't have to scroll if we won't have something like in a couple of days. And you can actually have a pre-filled value where you say, okay, I have always something in a couple of days in the future. Then we have here our group, what we can choose from. That is then the drop-down list. And of course here in edit fields. And here we're using row 3. So we have 3 rows. Let's close that one. And then I want to add the buttons. So for the buttons, I have a handler send form and then handler destroy form. I call them like handler that I can easily find them when I use different handlers and so on. Let's add the handlers then. And that's it. We can run that again. And now when I use the cancel button, I can close that. What we can do now is here remove this here always on top. Or in this case, I will leave it so that you can see it easily. And I add then the minus sys menu. And when we run that again, now this one is gone. I cannot close it from here anymore, but still it's running in the always on top mode. And then I can cancel it. Now it's time to add the handler send form. Here I need some basic variables. First, I have here my field value, what comes here from the GUI email form. What is this one here? And when I send it, I have all those information like the form val message, form val email group, and so on in this object, and I can call it this way. And then I specify the variable no error is true. So at the moment, we don't have any errors. I want as well some validation from my form. What I do here is I check if this form val subject, what I get from here, is empty, then I display a message box. Let's try that. If I go on send, then I can retry or cancel. This now doesn't matter because we don't catch the retry. Let's do that one. We here have our message. So if the message is retry, then we go to the error level. Now I cannot run it because we haven't added this error level yet, but it's no problem. Just let's add the other validation. What we have here is the form value get back in time, form value group, and then form value message. Basically, this one will be never empty, but you can say, hey, if it's the day from today, then give me an error message, whatever. That's why I put it in here for start convenience. If I want to use it later on, I have some ideas. So, and what else we need is we have like a switch case for the email groups. Let's add that one. This will be straight under our if else conditions for the validation. Here we have simply when we have the group A, we do this email address and this salutation and so on, group B and C. And if we have some sort of what doesn't match the case, then we have the default. And here I like to write an error occurred. Next thing what we need, we have to add then the subject, where I go simply here, I use the email subject with the validation what I used here already. Then please get back to me by, and then I add the time. And then of course I need the body for the email. So let me put that here. That's a real basic HTML body where we use the salutation and then the message. We don't have string interpolation with AutohotKey, what is easily to use, in my opinion. I use this way. What I do, I use the body and remove the salutation with the salutation I get from here. And then as well, I use the message, what I get from the field value, the form val message. And last but not least, we can add our goto error label, and we could of course use just a function, but why not using what AutohotKey gives me? So now let's try again. Yeah, here it is. We have here our subject, the calendar, and let's start this one. Okay, we don't have. Put it in there, just a simple hello. And the next one would be the email group. Okay, but my subject is gone. The fields are not persistent, so let's add that one before we playing around here more. Let's first add some parameter to the function here on the top. And here I like to field subject value is nothing, and then the time is now. We can add here as well. The email group is 0 and the field message is nothing. Now we have to add those fields here. And here again, I like to add it like a field subject and so on, so that I can easily find it here. So go first here with the subject, and how to use it is like add a comma here, and then I have the pre-filled text. And here I have the subject value. Then we have the months. We'll get back in time. Then we have here our group. The group is like a little bit different. In the way we do it here is actually we have this one, then we have the field value, then we add some quotes. In here we need the space and then choose. And then we have the email group. So, but here we need the number from 1 to 3 because we have 3 values. So let's retrieve the filled email group value, because here we will just add the later on like a string. And this is easily done with a small condition. What we're doing here is we are checking if the field email group is not 0, so that means it's something else. Then we loop through the email group for the length, so that would be 3 of them. Here you get the information in AutohotKey how that works. And then if the email group, the first one, yeah, so we have then here, that would be then group A, and we put a group A in there. That means that's the index 1 and so on. Then the second one is group B and group C. And so then we overwrite this value with the index, so for example 2, and now we choose then the value 2. I hope that makes sense. And then we have here the filled message, and of course we have to put that in here where we reopen the email form and using it as an argument. So here we have then the field value, the subject, and so on. We have to reformat the date so that the form field will understand it. Let's try that. Here we have now the form. Let's put in hello here and then try to send it. We have the email group should be not empty. Oh, we have our hello here. Let's change then the date so that we can see if it works or not. And use the group here, leave that open. So we have message should not be empty, it's okay. So we have here the 14, that works. Then we add here my message, but we move that one here because then we don't have any errors. And send that one, should not be empty, retry. So we have the message, we have the group, and we have the date. Send that one. Now we have here the email group. Then we have hello, please get back time. That's the 14th, that's true. Then we have our HTML body and so on here. That seems to work. So the message to testing I add here. Now let's add the function for Outlook. Now I want to use this stuff here in a function. Just let's add that here on the top. Here we using basically the same stuff, except we are using then the parameter we put here in the function and add them straight to our values here. And now we just have to use that in the way we don't use the message box. Let's comment that one out and add the function. Let's try that again. We have here hello, we don't need any testing for the validation as we know it worked. Then we have the group B. And let's try that. We have here Outlook, open with a new email, the email address, the one we specified. Then we have the subject. We have here our formed email body, and as well we have signature. And the signature you get, let's close that one here, by using basically display straight after the com, not how we did it here. And then you get signature in your email address. So that's it. That's all from me. What we can do is using this function in a class and add some more functionality to it. For example, then say, oh no, we don't want to display it. We want to send it immediately, or some other stuff where we can save it first or whatever. So that makes sense to have it in the class. And if you want me to do a tutorial about it, let me know in the comments. Thank you.
Please consider to subscribe. Hit the like icon and share my video. Don't forget to hit the notification bell and watch my other videos.